Well, to start with then, in 1966, the Portsmouth shipbuilder Vosper merged with Southampton-based John I. Thornycroft to form Vosper Thornycroft. The company now is part of BAE Systems. But at the time, the company had a reputation for designing and building fast, innovative naval vessels. And in the 1990s, they investigated the possibility of a frigate design which would incorporate features to frustrate detection, a stealth concept similar to the better-known aircraft designs of the American B-2 and F-117 warplanes. The company produced a concept of such a vessel called Wraith. The design would incorporate the latest stealth features and thus demonstrate the possibilities to prospective clients who hopefully would then place orders for bespoke designs. There's another view of the original concept. In 1997, I was approached by Peter Brown, who was the chief designer, small ships and future projects at VT. A keen modeler himself, Peter was interested in the idea of a card model kit for the Wraith for promotional purposes. The following year, in October 1998, at the Euro Naval International Naval Exhibition in Paris, VT hoped that a model kit of Wraith could be ready for distribution for promotional purposes. Now, this was my first experience of being commissioned to develop a card model kit. And while I'm an enthusiastic, if somewhat underskilled model maker, I have never had any pretensions to be a designer. And in fact, I'm rather in awe of the latter. So the first question was who would design the kit? In 1991, Sławomir Czorczynski, Sławek as he was known, a naval architect living in Gdańsk and a keen card modeler since childhood, decided to enter the model business. Here he is, he's second from the right with his family, his wife, 2 sons and daughter-in-law. The political changes in Poland at the beginning of the 1990s offered Sławek the opportunity of setting up his own card model publishing enterprise. And linking his initials with that of his wife Janina, he named the company JSC and incorporated in the logo a stylized boat hull which referred to his birthplace of Łódź, which is also the Polish word for boat. He decided to concentrate on waterline ship models to a scale of 1 to 400, which were the type that he'd been used to modeling as a child. The models were to be designed such that the parts did not usually need to be glued to thicker card for reinforcement. Sławek sought help from friends in helping to run the business, among whom was an old university friend, Jan Schmidt, who became the JSC's first designer. For the company's first model, Jan chose HMS Sheffield, the World War II cruiser who at one point in her career was famously mistaken for the German battleship Bismarck. And here you see the card model of the HMS Sheffield and a subsequent later model, HMS Dreadnought, both JSC kits. So in 1992, Marcle Models, my firm, had been going for just short of 2 years when I visited the Deutsche Schifffahrts Museum in Bremerhaven and met one of the staff, Dr. Siegfried Stolting, who was himself a keen card modeler and who ran an annual convention, Schiffer aus Papier. He put me in touch with a Polish contact who acted as a conduit between JSC and me. And later that year, we started selling JSC kits. And in fact, Marcle Models has the honor to have been the first foreign stockist of JSC kits. So given Sławek's own professional background as a naval architect, he was the obvious fit for designing the Wraith model, and we agreed to collaborate on production of a kit for VT. The next question was the size and scale of the model. The kit had to be reasonably complex without being overly so. The purpose of the kit was to promote VT and the stealth concept and to illustrate the design features. So the model making should be reasonably straightforward and not over lengthy, while providing an acceptable level of challenge. The Sea Wraith itself was reckoned to have an overall length of about 138 meters or 450 feet. So the JSC standard scale of 1 to 400 would produce a model about 14 inches long. So it was decided to go for a 1 to 400 scale waterline model with a printed sea base, and this was agreed with VT. VT provided technical drawings, and in mid-1998, Sławek and his team set to work. And throughout, we worked closely with the VT design team. Very soon, a prototype design was produced, and as well as passing it on to VT for their comments, I had a go at making it myself and built a reasonable model of the hull, I guess. I can't recall any changes from the prototype. There may have been some, but nothing major. The hull, which was really the tricky element, was fine. The kit itself comprised parts printed on 2 sheets of A4 card. Visible here is the wave-piercing bow, part 10, which is fitted into the hull, part 1. 2 further A4 sheets of paper provided the sea base and construction diagrams and various deck fittings. A cover, those are some construction diagrams as well, showing how the card is, how the model is fitted together. Cover providing photographs and illustrations completed the kit with the VT branding. The features incorporated in the model included the use of flat, parallel, and inclined surfaces, the aforementioned wave-piercing bow, which was reduced to reduce the profile area. There's a bow visor, which hid the forecastle, capstan, and cable gear. You can it's not actually working on the kit, but you can see it marked out on the visor. Twin offset towers to confuse incoming missiles, and upper deck fittings and equipment concealed behind bulwarks rather than the guardrails and stanchions. Innovative weapons included twin artillery rocket system mountings and an unmanned aerial vehicle for remote spotting. The kit also includes parts for a Lynx helicopter and the aforementioned unmanned aerial vehicle. The latter actually requires a matchstick for the fuselage, and that matchstick not supplied. The mast there seen there is also retractable. The top can be pulled up for when the ship is in stealth, the model is in stealth mode. Optional surface-to-surface missile tubes were provided in the kit. Not present for obvious reasons in the model is the ship's ability to generate a water mist cloud to attenuate the ship's own infrared radiation. The main part of the hull was designed in one piece, and this had to be folded to shape, and after this the ram-shaped bow visor must be placed inside the hull. Sławek designed a special card tool, to ease one of the hull frames into place here where the fingers could not reach. This is part 18, the new tool, which is actually just a strip of card. But part 17, the frames which are pushed into the bow, have slots in them, so you can fit this card tool into the slots and then gently push the frame into the hull and then withdraw the tool. It works. I tried it. It works. The main superstructure can either be built up piecemeal on the deck or built off ship and then attached in toto to the hull. The ship's railings, such as they are, can be built accurately from card and are located around the helicopter pad, which we saw before. The aftermouth, which contains navigation lights, oh yes, I mentioned this, is retractable when the model is in stealth mode. The whole is then mounted on the sea base provided. I think there was a picture of that. We could go back to, not on the sea base at that point, but At any rate, that gives you an idea of the completed model with the helicopter on the back, on the back on the stern. Anyway, the quarter deck. Right, the contract with VT was for 700 pieces, which were duly delivered and apparently were very popular at the Euranaval exhibition. Word quickly spread, and delegates, which I presume included international arms dealers, were coming up to the VT stand and asking specifically for the kit. The agreement with VT allowed JSC to add the model to their range, which they have done with their own branding. We got VT actually made the kit itself, made up the kit itself, and timed the build, which was about 25 hours. So it was a reasonably complex model, without being overly so, I think, which is what we wanted to achieve. The original VT designs, together with JSC's expertise in card modelling, have produced an unusual and fascinating kit, which gives an intriguing view, or gave an intriguing view at that time, of naval shipwrights in the future. From what I can find out from the internet, it doesn't seem the concept has been taken up by any major as a result of this talk, but there we are. And the last thing, just as a little commercial aside, I do still have a few of the original VT kits for sale. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening.